Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the September meeting of the Mountain View Computer Users Group. Before we get started, this month's meeting is our annual elections, which should take hopefully no more than about 30 seconds, and our topic planning meeting, which is the most important. Before we get started, I'd like a moment of silence in remembrance of 9/11 for a tragedy at least we never forget, ever. So, moving right along, I am the president. We have two vice presidents that were going to be associated with topics at this meeting. You didn't know that, did you? We do have a treasurer, and the treasurer's report.
We have $566.38 in checking and $225.21 in savings.
Okay, for those of you who were not aware from last month, we now have to pay for the room. Dues have now become critical. Bring friends, bring strangers, bring relatives. You can put the relatives in the back. The relatives don't have to sit up front with you. Drag in perfect strangers. We need more members in order to keep going. And I think it's viable enough. I'd also like to see younger members, because contrary to what they think, they don't know everything. And now what I'd like to do is something we started a couple of meetings ago, is to introduce yourselves around the room. Okay. As you can tell, we are in a live meeting now. However, these meetings are being recorded and are available online. If you are not receiving the email link for the video and also the meeting announcements, please make sure you give your email address to Carolyn or myself at one of the breaks to add you to the list. We do have coffee, bagels, and donuts, thanks to Mike and Carolyn and Barry. We do ask you contribute for these. They are not taken out of the dues. Though, and I want to make sure that Mike and Carolyn donate the coffee and bagels, and the money you put goes back into the club. Whenever I get paid for coming out to your homes, I put that money back into the club, which hasn't happened in a long time. Okay, so moving right along, talking about professional consultation. Barry and I both do professional consultation. We do it via email, via chat, in person. Our rates are extremely reasonable, $35 an hour. You can go to Geek Squad, as one member found out. They received a bill for $375 for amounted to a 90-minute visit. With something that I could have solved in probably 10 minutes for probably free. It was not a major issue. Yes.
From what I understand, before they fix it.
How much?
Just
Yeah,
help them look at
I think it's now $250.
it might be, because
Yeah.
it was like.
They charge you a lot just to come out without doing anything.
Without even doing anything, that's just coming out. Now, if they do anything, then they start charging you per hour, parts, and everything else.
Yes. A friend of mine who's not a member of the club, who I do consulting for, printer died on him. Brand new Canon Pro Image 1000. It's a huge printer. He's using it. I went up there to help him make prints. It died. We spent 6 hours trying to fix it. So he called up Geek Squad. They came out. I couldn't fix it. I could not figure out what was wrong with it. They charged him more than the printer cost and still didn't fix it. So he's had to go back to Canon, and they're going to replace the printer. I don't know if you've ever seen the sign in Windows, can't communicate with the device. That's what he was getting. Even though it was connected, it was coming back. The system beat for the printer was coming back through the computer, but it wouldn't work. We changed drivers, we changed everything except the printer. So these are the numbers that call us on if you need help, and pretty much if it has anything to do with automation, we can help you.
Sir, email and phone.
Yeah.
Email and phone
Yeah, we do email,
or text.
message chat. Very shortly, we'll be able to do FaceTime with anybody. FaceTime is moving to a multi-platform environment. Also, screen sharing in a multi-platform environment, so that we can actually go in and work on your desktop without having to be there, which means I don't have to get dressed out of my pajamas.
And Zoom works really good for that.
Well, there's a problem with Zoom, Barry, in doing that, is that with the license we have, I can't take control of your laptop.
I don't have a license, and I've been doing one-on-one Zoom support with people in Missouri, taking control of their desktop just fine.
How?
Free tier. It worked.
I'll have to look into that, because when I tried it, I couldn't take control of the laptop.
Not really the top tier.
No, it's the second to top tier.
The second top tier.
Carolyn, have you been able to figure out how to do that in
I've
Zoom?
never even tried, I've never done it without Zoom. I've never done it without Zoom, so I don't even know how to do it to begin with.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely. They have to share their screen and they have to give permission for you to take over the desktop. So, you know about the new meeting location? I can take that slide out actually. But I'm going to do that right now.
We were thinking about that going,
Okay. What? Okay. Questions. Does anybody have questions about the user group? Dues are due this month. Dues have now been upped from how much did we used to charge, Carolyn? Oh, question?
We used to charge, now we charge.
Oh, well, actually, we moved that up. It's now $250 a month.
we had a question.
Question? Yeah? Oh, all you have, well, it's very, very complicated. You send an email to Barry, Mike, Carolyn, or myself. Okay. Okay. Carolyn or myself as to when you want it, who's going to be in charge, and then we send you back an invitation for the meeting. It takes, on our end, it takes maybe, 3 minutes, 4 minutes from the time we get the email. So it's very, very simple. You can have up to, I think, 100 people. Okay, moving right along. Share a favorite. We don't have anything on Windows unless somebody has got one for Windows. We do have one that is generic for everybody. This one down here, I have been pawned.
Have I been pwned.com?
Yes.
Clearly I need to explain that.
Yeah, we're going to do that one first. It's a website.
Okay, first thing to explain is what it means with have I been pwned. It is a hacker term. Pwned is synonymous with owned. It comes from hackers when they would play online games, and if they beat their opponents rigorously, they would say they've been owned. Of course, they do chat by typing, and being not the greatest typists in the world, they'd often hit the P instead of the O. So PWNED became hacker for I have just bested you. So that term led to haveibeennpwned.com. It is a website. Its purpose is for you to check your email and see whether or not you were included in any hack that has happened if your email address and possibly other information has been compromised. As an example, I have an email address that I don't use that much anymore, techdoc@yahoo.com. John, that is TECHDOCK @yahoo.com. If I were to use my other email address, which I don't really want to do as we're recording this, I know that that has been involved in several hacks, including major ones. Okay, and as it says down below, it says, oh no, pwned. And if you scroll down, John, first it starts with tips to better security, and then it gives the details of the hacks that email address is involved in. There was an Adobe hack in 2013 that it made its way out to the black web, the dark web with that. Cafe Press, CD Projekt Red that runs the GOG.com website that I like to use, they did get compromised some time back. And what I really found interesting when I was looking at this site is one there that says lead hunter, I guess, where it says that was just part of a massive data dump. That data contained 60 million unique email addresses and 110 million rows of data. In other words, if you have an email address, chances are very good that it's probably out there a little ways. So, and it says the compromised data included IP addresses, email addresses, gender, names, phone numbers, physical addresses. You notice they don't list passwords, which is good. And then there was a website called Nexus Mods that I used that was also compromised. So this gives you an idea as to whether or not an email address you used has been involved in a hack. We all still think many times that the only way we're going to get our emails compromised is if someone watches us over our shoulder or picks it up from us typing it in. In actuality, it's probably going to be compromised from it residing in a database somewhere that we have no control over, such as these. So this is just one way to verify whether or not your information is out there, but it probably is. And we'll talk about mitigation probably in a future time, in a future meeting. We'll talk about how you can mitigate some of these things. The one thing I'll just say offhand is use a good rigorous password. I suggest a password manager, whichever type you like, that uses a unique password generator, and change them often. And use a unique one for every website. Okay, John?
Okay, great. I need to pause for just a second. Okay, pardon? Yeah, the App Store. Okay, what I want to do is, Mike, thank you very much for this, because this was amazing. I'm going to put in one of my addresses, because I'm curious. This is my business address. Oh, yeah. This explains a lot. Yeah, I know about the Adobe. Wow. There's a lot of these. I don't even...
Several of the big guns.
Yeah, but I don't even remember being in most of these. That explains why a while back I kept getting on. I had to go up and change the password. Okay, that is really good to go. And the URL for it is haveibeenpawned, PWNED.com. One of the things you can do if you go up and you find out that you have been compromised, change your password for that email address. I appreciate it. Now, Barry is going to tell us about a program called Folder Design.
So this is a favorite of mine because I get a little, shall we say, anal sometimes when it comes to full icons on my computer. So I'm going to, first off, I'm just going to go to the Finder and hide everything else here. So if this were my machine, I would be starting off showing you my, where's the view? Here we go. Showing you my home folder with its contents. And I won't change John's little organization here, but
Don't worry about that.
yeah, you'll notice that many of these folders have custom icons on them. Like here's the one for Dropbox, here's the one for applications, for downloads, movies, music, pictures. Those are the ones that come from Apple, and they have custom icons on the folder that go along with what the contents are there for you to use them. Sites has a Safari icon. Here's a third-party one, Creative Cloud from Adobe. It has the Creative Cloud logo on it for the Adobe stuff. And I'll often, create my own folder in my home folder for something else. And one of those things that I do that for is games. And then I put that folder in my dock, and if I can put aliases to my games apps in that folder, and then I can get to them real quick from my dock on the screen. So you can put custom folders. Like here's the downloads folder. You can see the same custom icon on the folder there that you see in the home folder. So I have a folder for my games on my dock, but it just looks like a plain blank folder, like this one that says System. So I looked for and found this app that I like called Folder Designer that allows you to decorate basically any folder on your computer. So I found a nice icon for gaming and applied it to a thing on my machine, which I'm not showing you because I'm on John's. But if you want, you can click here, and there's some built-in ones. So the process is similar. You can find an icon that goes along with what you want it to that folder to be involved with, or the contents are. So let's say it's, let's just say it's portraits that you've taken of people. So you can choose this icon and select it, and you'll notice it sticks it right on that preview here. And then you can apply it to a folder, and you choose a folder to apply it to. Well, what if you don't have a folder yet? You can do it on the fly. Let's see, where's your home here, John? Let's go back. Oh, that's home. No, let's go to, we'll say it's just pictures here. And I'm going to change your thing so it's easier to see on the big screen here. So I'm going to create a new folder to put it in, and we'll say Portraits. And I'll choose that folder. Icon has been changed. And I show it in the Finder, and again, where's the view? Icons.
You're in the folder. You have to back up.
Back up. There it is. So it's kind of, maybe it's hard to see, it's kind of small, but you can see that that icon on the folder now has been applied to that particular folder. So if I put my portrait photos in it, the icon for that group of photos kind of represents what's inside. So it's kind of cool that way.
Can you do a Command Plus to make it bigger?
Is it just Command Plus, or is it Command Option? Oh, that's, yeah, there you go. Well, funny you should ask. You can. So look, the blue is the default system color for a folder, but you can also tint the icon with a different color. Let's go with a purplish magenta. Apply to the folder. We'll choose the same folder. It's okay. And if I go back to this and it didn't change, let's see. Why didn't it change?
I think it says text color now.
It says tint color. You can scale this artwork too. It's supposed to change in the preview. Let's pick one from, come it's not. Oh, I gotta turn it on, sorry. There's a checkbox to turn it on. There we go. Now if I apply it, choose. And you see it changed in the background. Woohoo! So now I have a pinkish, reddish, magenta-ish portraits folder. No, the image is like it's embossed or on it. However, you can select a pattern if you want, and you have to actually have an image file to put on it.
Go into the pictures.
Oh, I'm already in pictures.
While you're looking for that, can you make like that image, do you have one color in the background, a different color?
I don't think so. Let's put, well, we'll turn this off. You can add a photo to your folder if you want.
Scale it down.
Well, it's almost down all the way.
Oh, that's where the picture is.
You can scale it up and then do a port like that, something like that.
Now that's cool.
So you can apply a custom image, that one,
There it is.
and there it is. So if you like to have custom folders rather than the system defaults, this is, what was it, $2.99 or $1.99? $2.99 at the Mac App Store. It's currently being developed and updated, so I didn't check the actual last date, but when I bought it, it was, I only bought it about a month or two ago, and it had been updated just before I bought it, so the developer's active in terms of keeping it up to date, at least this year so far, so that's pretty cool. You can also, if you're looking for an icon and you say you want to choose one, there's also this select custom icon item here. So if you have some black and white artwork of your own in a PNG or a JPEG file, you can choose any artwork. It doesn't have to be built into the app itself. It's kind of a limited choice of icons here, and I had to find one of my own that I wanted to use, looked like a game controller to put on the icon on my computer for my games, like I was talking about. But so you're not limited to what comes in the app itself, but you can put your own custom. That's one of my favorite apps.
Great. I trusted you when I decided to buy it, and you did not
Yeah.
disappoint me.
So now you can have a photo of your daughter right on your icon, on your folder.
Does anyone else have an application or a tip they'd like to share with us for either iOS, Windows, Mac? Lots of them. Okay, what we're going to do is take our break now before we start moving into the core of the meeting, and try and explain to you what our thoughts are on this, because we're radically changing the way we do it. Before, what we did is just open it up and say, hey, what are you interested in? Now what we're going to do is actually provide you topics and areas that you may find of interest, or you can add to them. This is not an all-inclusive list by any means.
And what you're seeing here is the result of our brainstorming over several days. We all added to a list as it occurred to us. There's no editing to it, so by all means, this is not definitive, this is not complete. Anything else you want to add or make comments on, please, your group, this is for you.
Yes. Now, to give you an example of what Mike's talking about, when we originally did this list, we did not include operating system updates. Very obvious thing to talk about, okay? Because we have Windows updates, we have Mac updates, we have iOS updates, and so I added this one when I was driving down the road. Yes, sir.
Move that table slide higher up.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, good, so everybody can see it. So, okay, we're back from our break, and what we're going to do right now is, what I want to do is assign functional areas to different officers, like right here.
Or volunteers.
or volunteers. If you have a specialty in an area, then let us know and you can, yes. Yeah, that was a big mistake on my part. Okay, videography. Pardon? Yes, recording is back on. Thank you. Now, some of these we've already determined. Multimedia, digital photography. Okay, myself a little bit more room. We still have basic tips regarding user interface. And I was going to leave that one open to anybody, okay? Because we all do that. Yeah. Operating system updates, I'm going to leave that open. Cloud services, you want that one, Mike? Okay. Now, is there anything that a general broad area that anybody can think of?
Services, but we may want to talk about like what one would be most appropriate to be using if you have a Windows machine. What kind of, cloud service is more appropriate if you're using an Apple machine?
Yeah.
Because, I know how to use the one that the Apple people use, and the Apple people probably don't use the
Well,
one that I use.
okay, my intent on this one is for someone to be the lead on it to set up the presentation. Okay, and then we're going to go down and micro-organize all of these topics. But yes, absolutely, like Dropbox. Well, what is happening more and more is that we're starting to see software as a service rather than a commodity. And almost everything is available on all platforms. So what differentiates a platform? Well, right now, the biggest characteristic is speed. Pardon? Well, that becomes a religious argument. Yeah, to me, Google Drive is impossible to use. The last time I had to use it, one of my work projects we had to use it, I almost threw the computer out the window. I really did, because no matter what I did, it didn't work.
No, because they
Oh, okay. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, that is been put under operating system updates.
Well, for years, we've divided this into Windows and Apple and all that. As John just said, the platforms are becoming irrelevant. Everything is still functionality. You can do pretty much the same things on Windows or on Apple or on any of them. And that's why we're looking at splitting it up this way. We'll still be talking about Windows, how things work on Windows, in addition to the platform.
Even Linux, because like when we talked about the folder design, Mike brought up the fact that how Windows handles it. So we are becoming a cross-platform user group and going by functionality rather than by platform. So we really don't care what platform you come in with. Then we're going to talk about the functionality and discussing that functionality on your particular platform if it's different. Yes, ma'am.
At one point, I remember a discussion we had in this group, Windows becoming more like Windows.
We are almost at that point. We are, yeah, the biggest difference between today, Mac and Windows, is the Control Command key, the Option Alt key, and the trash can recycle pin. Other than that, they're almost, what do you mean, no?
I use both of them, and I still have them used as, and I have no idea how to do it. I've got to look it up in my book.
Really?
We've always learned that.
Because see, I go,
Organization there is, or how to even organize it. That little roundy thing.
the roundy thing that goes,
The thing where you pick all your.
you mean the dock, this thing down here? Well, put it where you want it. To move it, you just click. Well, I've got mouse.
Yeah, okay. We don't
Yeah.
need to do that.
That,
There are more
No, I take everything and put it in folders because I can't even work. Or I'll click the dock and it'll go to someplace else on the page and I don't even know how it did that.
okay. No kidding. Yes. Have you seen the prototype, the artist concept? Yeah, it looks a lot like the Mac. Okay, so if there are no other major topic, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into each of the functional areas. And now, these are just ideas that we've had for meetings. And what we want to do is kind of come up with when we're going to do them. And I have open months down here, like for October. Get rid of Barry's notes. Get rid of the date. Save it so I don't forget it. Because I didn't want to go through the calendar and find out what the date for everybody. Oh, you did? Oh! So that I thought I missed that one. Oh! Well, son of a gun. Thank you, Barry. Okay, so under basic tips regarding that taming autocorrect using a digital, this one, F, I think should be a entire meeting. And yeah, the digital wallet. For those of you who don't know, the digital wallet on iOS, and there's a Android equivalent, I can't remember the name of it, is becoming a reality. Not only can you store in credit cards, tickets, like when I buy a ticket online for Cinemark, the ticket is in my digital wallet. For an event, when my daughter goes to concerts, it's in her digital wallet. You don't have, you just press on it and show your, yep, absolutely. Yeah, airline boarding passes goes to my digital wallet. In fact, airline boarding passes I put on my phone, my watch. So I just go up and go clomp and walk. Yeah, it's clomp. I always say clomp. Though I wish they would put it on the other side because I have to reach over like that. Inconvenient. So, credit. We're going to talk about credit card, airline boarding pass, vaccination records. You can get your vaccination record in your digital wallet now. I have mine, thanks to Barry. Yes, driver's license coming up very shortly. You'll be able to add your Arizona driver's license to your iOS digital wallet. So you do not need to carry that with you. You can, what is being worked upon, there's one other factor that you need to carry, and that is your insurance card. What the digital wallet does not support yet is being able to add your own items to the wallet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can do it through the insurance app. It does. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check USAA to find out. So I'm gonna come over here and select this, and I think by February, it should all be, the dust should be settled on it.
Can you move that screen up a little?
Yeah, well, the problem is that we need to move the projection up, and there's no way of doing it. Yeah, well, I've got the controller here, but it doesn't do anything. All I do, I can turn on and off, and that's it. Nothing else works. And the problem is it needs to be shifted upwards. Yeah, and I've asked for training on it, and it's gone unheard of. So there's a topic right there. Now let's go back. So I'm going to remove this. Now, does anybody else have anything? I mean, do you like these topics here? Oh, we have another one. F the dock.
macOS dock. Or maybe both, maybe.
The dock and the start, and then the start.
Okay. Yeah, they're so similar. And something tells me they'll be functionally identical. For those of you who don't know it, for those of you who don't know, Windows is actually based upon the Mac operating system. Yeah.
Only in the sense that does.
In 1986.
Oh, you do not want. I know you live close to it.
Damn straight. Microsoft saw the success of the Macintosh. They were desperate to come up with something similar on Windows machines, which at the time were still text-based. So they licensed from Apple the Apple user interface, which they used to design the first iteration of Windows. No. Did you ever use that? There was the only thing that was similar.
Yes, I did.
Was folders.
When I first started.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you guys got Macs. Honestly, God.
The only thing that was similar was use of icons and folders. Okay, other than that, there was no similarity. The mouse worked completely differently. So, IBM came along, not IBM, Microsoft licensed it, came up with their system that was so close to the Mac that Apple took them to court because it was too similar. No, they broke away, they broke away and they stopped paying Apple the license fee, introduced Windows 3, and Apple took them to court saying, hey guys, you are so similar to what we're doing that you should still be paying your royalty agreement. Went to court. The judge had no knowledge at all about computers. Knew nothing. So he thought that a recycle bin and a trash can were two totally different things. That the way that you launched, because you launched applications differently and they didn't have a dock and the Mac had a dock, he thought they were two completely different things. He was an idiot, like Judge Green. So Windows, which was still based, you can still find the Apple comments in the base code in Windows. They're still there. I know, I saw them the other day. Well, we went along about 10 more years, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bill Gates decides to pay Apple $150 million, which was the exact amount of the licensing fee that they should have paid Apple to begin with. Now, you be the final judge. So, oh yeah. Actually, that might be a whole separate topic.
Computer history and
Yeah. Like, the thing that right now Apple's taking heat over about checking your images for child pornography. That one, the press has gotten so wrong on what they're saying is going on that would take almost an entire meeting to explain what is really going on. Okay. Once you understand exactly what Apple planned on doing, it's a lot better than what everybody else is already doing that they didn't tell you they were doing. If you store pictures on any site, Dropbox, Google, Amazon, any of those sites, they scan them without your knowledge for detection of child pornography. And they don't use the hash the way Apple was going to. They go in and look at your photos. Okay, so basic tips, that's what you're going to be doing next month, right, Barry? Oh, yeah.
But I can do a brief overview of what Apple's announced.
Yeah.
For those that are interested, but in terms of a major topic, I'm really.
Because we've got, we have all kinds of topics. I'll just go over these real quickly. Tips, cloud services, networking, productivity. These are just ideas of things to cover. Networking, videography, multimedia, graphic design, digital photography, cybersecurity, gaming, modernization, operating system updates. October is too early for this one, we think. I'd say, why don't we put November should be a good one because that's when Windows 11 we should have more. Why don't we? Is that okay if we do this one in November? Any objections? Any ideas? Okay, so let's go to November. There we go. That looks good. And we can get rid of this one. Actually, I'm just going to do that. Okay. Anybody else have an idea? Look at the major topics or any subtopics. What are you guys interested? Say again? Screaming?
Streaming.
Streaming.
Watching TV.
Okay. In what context? No.
How to turn on the.
Sometimes.
Okay. What are you, when you say streaming, what are you interested in us?
I'm watching a movie, and I have to.
Are you using Roku? Yeah.
A lot on there. And, gosh.
Okay, when you say you can't find the movie you were watching, how long in between when you were last watching it?
Yeah.
Is it like later that night, or is it the next day, or is it
Sometime.
three months later? Or?
No, the next day.
Okay. And are you just using the Amazon stuff, or are you using any of the applications like Hulu or?
Sometimes it depends on if they're. I use the free ones. Hulu is free. Prime is free.
Okay. Here's.
That sounds like a good topic.
Yeah.
'Cause I could get into it.
Yeah, I would say, taming streaming services. I'm same way. I'm total streaming on my Apple TV. So I take my Apple TV when I go traveling now. I found out my daughter does the same thing. She went on a trip. She took her Apple TV, plugged it in to the HDMI port at the hotel.
We're doing the same thing with the Fire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there's, actually, could we move this one to January so I could be here for it?
Sure. Absolutely, John.
I'll put it on Zoom.
Because, it's an excellent topic. Because I've got a whole bunch of streaming services like
So do we.
Paramount Plus, HBO Max, Disney, Apple TV Plus, Plex, Taibu. I got a whole bunch of them. Yes, but some of them you don't. And I won't be able to demonstrate. I won't be able to demonstrate it here, but I can show you. I have my own streaming service. Yes. Now, unfortunately, you can't do it remotely, but it's super simple to set up. So when I'm at the house, I have about 100 DVDs on a hard drive. And so if I want to watch one of my DVDs, I just go in and start it up just like it's on Netflix.
How do you do digital?
Handbrake. Yeah, Handbrake is the go-to.
Oh, one thing I want, for those of you who may use the Fire TV, if you're paying for the Amazon Prime channels, like HBO, funny story, when HBO Max first came out, Amazon was already offering HBO on their Prime channels. And HBO, Warner Brothers, wanted Amazon subscribers to pay both for HBO Max and HBO Prime channels. Amazon said no. Our then they agreed, HBO Max was made available free to any,
Oh, you have to subscribe to HBO.
you have to subscribe to HBO channels, which I did, but I had already done that.
Okay.
Well, just this last week, Amazon announced that they were no longer going to be doing that agreement. HBO channels on Amazon is no longer available. Now you have to use HBO Max, which means the next time I use my HBO Max, it'll last me
Yeah.
the credit card. So that's the kind of thing that happens with the streaming, though, that I know is confusing. Because one of the things with looking for a movie later, these movies come and go, unfortunately. So it's hard to say. So
Licensing agreements run out and they change.
I had the same thing happen where I was watching. Where is it?
Like if you're at Amazon Prime, there's a whole bunch of services that you can get that if you don't know about, like IMDb is free. Pluto, BritBox. If we didn't have BritBox, I think my wife would go crazy. BritBox, my wife is addicted to British detective movies. Yes, BritBox. BRITBOX. And there's another one, Acorn. Though I think BritBox is better than Acorn. But Acorn has got all the Doctor Who episodes. How, I don't know, because we're not supposed to be getting those. Okay, so that's going to be a great... Yes, ma'am.
I have a smart TV, and I'm not good at connecting the computer or laptop to the TV. Somebody could explain how to get that going. That would be one thing, and then you were talking about a service that you have at your house, but you didn't do it. Could somebody do a brief video?
Yeah. To hook your computer to your TV, get an HDMI cable, plug the HDMI cable in the computer, plug the other into a port on your TV, take your remote control, switch to that port, and you're connected. That's all that it takes. Now, if you do not have an HDMI port on your computer, go get a new computer. Because without that, yes, it can be done, but I ain't going to do it. Okay, I would say there's going to be a very, very strong possibility you'll have to, just based on what I said on Windows 11 so far.
For one, my computers probably will not run Windows.
Barry, I'm going to put this one. You don't have to cover all of these, and we can do this again, but just add this.
Is that acceptable to everybody here if you're showing up next month?
And like, you know, cover the doc specifically for Carolyn. Oh, you won't, that's right, you won't be.
We're gonna be in New Hampshire on October 9th.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on. Computer history. Oh, I'm gone in March. Pardon? Yeah, we don't have anything for December yet. The computer history, I'm going to have to move it to when I'm going to be here. Because what this is going to be, and I actually may bring in a couple of other people, like Jim. He's there for a lot of it too. For those of you who don't know, I actually knew Bill Gates. I don't know him anymore because I refuse to associate with him. I knew Bill Gates. I knew Steve Jobs. I still know Steve Wozniak, though I don't see him very often anymore because we don't have the big conventions like we used to. She does. Steve Wozniak. Oh, Bill Gates is divorced. I knew that was coming a long time ago, and I still don't understand why she took so long. Yeah. Well, the settlement she got was enough to keep her going, and she could probably buy Switzerland. Yeah, her part of the settlement was 138 million. Yeah. No. The divorce settlement that does not count the money she gets every month. Okay, that was just the part settlement. She gets like 15 million a month to live on. Some ridiculous. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount. Okay. April should be a really good meeting. Okay. I'm gonna turn mouse pussy clicks off. Okay.
An interview. Yeah, you could be a bad idea.
Hey.
I read about
Yeah, absolutely. Like the true history behind email, the true history behind the internet. Yeah, my first email account was 1972. The first Army, teleconference. I was the one in charge of that. And how it was actually done, yeah. It was TRADOC headquarters, General Starry decided he wanted to bring the Army into the 20th century. And instead of bringing the commanders conference from all the TRADOC schools, had them come in, which was millions of dollars. He wanted to do it via satellite. So the only people we flew in were the general officers themselves. All the strap hangers remained on location. We had downloads via, you'll find out the whole. Steven. Why is it? It wasn't supposed to do that. Okay. Why? No, I turned it on the phone. I'm going to check that right now to find out. That's why. I had telephone to bypass phone, and somebody called, it would go through. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So we can talk all about that. Mike can interview me. I think that'd be a tremendous. You find out the real story behind a lot of things. Like Al Gore had nothing to do with the internet. Okay, December. Okay, let's take a look.
Send out the Christmas letter to their friends and family. Anybody?
Just forward them.
We used to, but I'm hoping to reinstitute that
You
tradition.
got like 3 folks.
No, because one of the things that I do, and I still send out the physical letter, I think it's cool that everybody gets a physical letter, is I do it with mail merge, so I make all my letters totally personal, but they think that it was directed to them because it will say dear, you know, like Marie and Patty for one sister, or, you know.
Yeah.
So should we do a holiday theme thing?
So I was
Christmas
thinking of showing you
newsletters?
all how to do that, so you only have to write one letter and print it out, and the salutation goes up to.
You got it.
I'll even try to figure out how to do it on, because I know how to do it on Windows.
You
or
mean you haven't
Word.
got that figured out yet?
I know how to do it on Word.
Yeah,
We have it
I'll work
back,
with you on
so,
it.
yeah.
No, because I want to know, what's the thing that you guys all use?
What, mail merge? I'd like to find out about that one.
No, and one of the other things that I do is I go and get the, you know, the cutesy stationery that has all the Christmas background. I could make my own, but I don't. It's too much ink.
Yeah.
I get all the cute Christmas backgrounds, and then I get the letters are basically the same.
Oh, so you send out hard copy. Ugh.
Oh, my family loves it.
Ugh.
Yes, there's something about making people actually have to deal with real paper that they don't forget.
Ugh.
It's so much more personal than a stupid email.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I thought you were talking about mail merge as an email mail merge, and I was going to say, wow, how are you doing that?
Me and Christmas are old fashioned.
Well, that's possible too.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great.
Yeah, then they get caught in the spam filter.
Well, actually, you could, I know a way to do it, but then you could email the letter too. Okay.
We'll have fun with it.
Yeah, that'll be good.
There you go. Okay. Wow. So we don't have anything yet for March. I'm trying to go back. Okay, I've got. Okay. Cybersecurity. March. Why don't we do cybersecurity in March? Any objections to that? Cybersecurity. And 2 reasons on that. Yeah, I'm gone for it.
Really have to work on far too.
Well,
They have a movie called Girl Gone. We should call John Gone.
there we go. Well, that's spring break, and every year we have friends who work up at ASU, and so the only time we ever get to really see them is spring break, and we go and spend a week in San Diego. I have a timeshare out there. It's right on the beach. I mean, you 197 steps from the front door of the hotel to the beach. If you are familiar with Oceanside, it's right next to the Oceanside Pier. So that's why I'm gone for March. The rest of the time I'm going to see my daughter. I rarely work anymore where I have to actually leave for work. In fact, I actually may be going back to work again. Maybe. I've been furloughed for 2 years now. Pretty close to it. I still get company emails. I still have the company equipment sitting there, and I have to start it up about once a month. Or I get a call from the IT guy saying, would you please start your computer up? Okay, so that should be a good one, because these are things which, these two especially, I get calls on from members at least once a month on different fishing expeditions, and they're getting better and better and better. That's why the first thing I do whenever I get an email in is go up and check the from line and find out who it's really from. And I got one from American Express. The return email was American Express. I thought, this just doesn't sound like American Express. So I used a preview look to find out where it was going to take me. Sure enough, it was a scam. Okay, so we've got October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We have May, June, July, and boy, we're making progress today.
Carolyn,
Okay.
Yeah.
a little early for it.
We kind of think, we haven't exactly decided when our.
Well, we'll assume you're not going to be here for it.
I think it's
Okay, let's go back up here. How about you guys? I mean, you've come up with better topics than we did. What else are you interested in? Problem areas. Now, if you're still having a problem with your smart TV, let us know, and we can go through that. But yeah, if your computer's got an HDMI port, which it probably does, that's all you have to do. The trick is, and this one is TV specific, is switching to the correct port. Now, here is a trick, and it does work, is if you do not have anything connected to your TV set other than your computer through the HDMI port, turn the computer on, then turn the TV set on, and it'll automatically go to the HDMI port. Yes, most smart TV today's will do that. They'll go to the HDMI port that is on, and then you have to switch back to TV. Because sometimes, I know going to hotels, figuring out how the stupid remote will switch inputs. Yeah, you've been there, right? Yes. Isn't that fun? Okay, what else? What are you guys interested in? Because we've got, videography, graphics design, digital photography. And these are some ideas we came up with using Lightroom, Photoshop, Apple Photos, put in Google Photos. Forgot about Google. Amazon Photos. Okay. Modernization, smart cars. Did you guys enjoy that presentation at all? We talked about virtual reality. Because I'm going to put this one over in August because there is a good chance by then we're going to have some major announcements in this area. And specifically here and here. Those two areas look like this next year they're going to explode. Especially this one right here. And I say that because Foxconn, which is the Chinese company that manufactures the iPhone, amongst other things, just announced they're going into the smart car production business, electric smart cars. And who is their biggest customer? Apple. So people are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 4 for a change. So there may be a major announcement coming about because Apple did file a patent for a completely redesigned automobile. Completely redesigned. It looks nothing like the automobile today. It looks like something out of a science fiction movie is what it looks like. The seats could turn in on each other, so you go to a central location. There is no engine compartment per se. The engine is underneath the seats. It's a really interesting design, which unfortunately the site where I found it at, because I can't find it in the patent office. It's too hard to find anything in the patent office. The site that had it no longer has it. So, what else have we got? We've done cybersecurity. We have gaming. Pardon? I was wondering when you were going to say something. Oh, no. Lightroom is extremely easy. You're making it complicated. No, seriously. Lightroom, it takes me about 2 hours to train a person in Lightroom. Because there's only 3 things you really need. You need the library, develop, and print. Those are the only ones. And once you understand what the side panels do, because in library, the only side panel you need is on the left-hand side. And use collections. Develop, use the right-hand side panel. Forget about the one on the other side. And print the left hand. Lightroom is extremely simple once you understand how it works. So, okay, we can do that. March, April, May. Let's do it in May. Sorry it takes so long. I also give private photo lessons. We'll talk at the next break. What am I doing? Okay, so now we've got June and July left. Any other ideas? We have, podcasting, blogging, teleconferencing, digital photography. We've done graphic design. Barry, why don't we do digital imagery in, say, June about what's going on in the 3D graphics arena? Pardon? Well, no, you're going to. So you have a mission now between now and then is to go up and just play with Blender. It's free. You're going to be really surprised at how actually easy it is until you get to texturing. And at that point, I totally lost. I can design things easily. Texturing has me lost. I can't figure it out. Okay, that should be an interesting topic. Only it's part because that's part of this other topic back here, modernization. In fact, why don't we? I'll tell you what. We'll make May modernization. That'll include digital imagery. Oh, I did? Oh, okay. Then we'll do digital imagery, including photography, 360 photography. We have one more and we'll take a break. Any other ideas? Take a look up at, we have this one. Ooh, yeah, there it is. November. Gaming, multimedia, videography. Not too many people are interested in that anymore. We have, you want to do this one again? Basic tips, cloud services. Actually, this one is sort of covered in streaming services. Yeah, so I'm going to take and put, let's do this in June. Well, that's because June I actually have some. It'll be July. Sorry about that. I never said I could read. Okay, so this is what we've got. October, News on the horizon, announcements coming out, basic tips. November is operating system updates. I don't know if it's going to let me do this or not. No, there we go. I'll fix that later. Okay. December, we have productivity for the holidays with Carolyn. Taming your streaming services in January. Also including using Handbrake for your DVDs, creating your own streaming service, what it takes. It's actually fairly simple to do. Plex and a Western Digital NAS drive. Using your digital wallet for February, cybersecurity for March, computer history and the legality of what you are doing with an interview. That should be fun. I will ask to have the interview questions provided.
I'll ask the tough questions.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to have them beforehand. No surprises. I'm giving you crap, Mike. Okay, digital photography in May. It just might, yeah. The digital imagery in June. July is cloud services, and August is modernization subject to change. If something comes up between then and now that is better, if you have ideas, we'll entertain those ideas. What do you guys think? Are you pleased with it? Something you're going to attend? Drag your friends in? See, I want to see this whole auditorium filled to overflowing. Yes, ma'am.
When relationship happens,
Yeah.
and you were saying some coaches.
I am trying to find that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, we were it for years. We were the computer club, okay? And then they decided to throw us off campus when they said that all the officers had to be students.
That's one of their.
Yes. No, that's changed now. It's still that way? I heard it had changed.
I still get their emails. No, and I still. No,
Tell them
I
about
get
our
an
club.
email from, start the.
Oh, yeah, and they're ridiculous. Okay, why do we take a break? Okay, any other great ideas? That was a good idea. It triggered us to think about something. I keep forgetting to do that because there's Nextdoor, Facebook calendars. Because even though we have it on our Facebook page, we should post it in Chit Chat, Sierra Vista Chit Chat, and what's the other one? So, anything else before we take our break? Yeah. Oh, okay. It gives you something to do since you're not doing anything anymore.